What's going on, guys? Coming at you, new setup. I can stand now, I can move around. I like this a little better. Hopefully you guys can see the damn whiteboard. I know it's kind of far away, I'm experimenting. Topic for today, things to know for meet day. Obviously this is coming during my meet week. I will be competing on Saturday at the Dan Campos Pro Invitational that's in Philly. Dan Campos' gym. Those of you who see this before then might want to come check it out. It should be a pretty sweet meet to be at. The atmosphere is going to be sick. The meet was an invite only, so you had to have a qualifying Wilks score. So every lifter competing is solid. They're doing a top 3, I believe, as per the whole competition, top 3 Wilks, and it's cash prizes. I think they're giving away like an SBD belt. It should be pretty cool. Looking forward to competing against a lot of the top lifters in PA and some of the surrounding states. So it's gonna be a fun one. Brought me to the topic of things to know for meet day. I like to bring you guys real life useful information. Things that can be applied immediately. I mean, if you're preparing for a meet, these are things that you should know, and that these are all things I've made a mistake before, so that's why I know there's others out there who probably make similar mistakes. They're very basic. These are all very basic things. Some of you are gonna be like, well, of course I'm gonna, write down my attempts ahead of time. But others may be like, oh, I really didn't think too much about it. So let's just jump right in. Attempts. That's the first thing I listed for, things to know for meet day. You want to think about your attempts. Don't just go in with the number you want to hit. Let's say you want to hit a 400-pound deadlift. You don't want to go into the meet and just put 400 pounds down on your opening attempt, because when you get to a meet, you weigh in, you have to write down your opening attempt. So if you write down 400 pounds and that's like your goal, maybe it's something you've never even hit before, opening with it is just not the smartest idea. So setting yourself up strategically to hit that 400 pounds deadlift or whatever the hell it was, you might want to start with an opening attempt of 360. And then from there, maybe you go to 380, 385. And then from there, you hit that 400. So you see what I mean? Like, you want to take those balanced jumps up to your third attempt. Now, once you get a little more into it, maybe you can kind of figure out how you perform after a meet or two. You might change your strategy a bit. Maybe your first attempt to second attempt is a much bigger jump, just so you open with something super conservative. You make a good jump to your second attempt to something semi-challenging, and then that'll give you a much better idea of your third attempt. That's personally what I do. I always open conservative. I want to go out there and make a statement, fucking hit it at RPE NA, and then I'm going to jump to a second attempt that I know is going to be challenging, but something I've hit in the gym before, I'm comfortable with still, just to gauge where my third attempt should be. For me, the third attempt is what matters. Your first attempt is your last warm-up. Your second attempt, that's to gauge where your third attempt is going to be. Your third attempt, that's what you came for. Time to cash in, make it count. Hitting the most attempts possible is going to lead to the biggest total possible, and that's really what meets are all about, your total. So hopefully I kind of went over, why that's important. Hopefully you understood kind of in the mix of everything I just said. Attempt selection and knowing your plan for attempt selection ahead of time is crucial. Number 2 is going to be commands. Yes, they are going to have an athlete meeting prior to the start of the meet. Or at least they should. I've been to meets where they didn't. Kind of weird, but not going to call anyone out. It happens. So doing your own homework and your own research ahead of time to know the federation's commands that you're competing in is going to be crucial. There is nothing worse than seeing somebody go up to the platform, hit a PR, and rack the bar before the rack command, and they don't get that lift. And lift doesn't count. Nothing's worse than that. I mean, just you can see the pain on their face when that happens. You just hit a PR, and the judge red lights it because you didn't hear a command. It sucks, but it happens every meet, and it happens multiple times. Know the commands of the federation you're competing in. They're going to be different, you know, depending on the federation. Just go to the federation's website you're competing in, go to the commands section of their rule book and learn them and know them before meet day. Because if you're only learning about them, you know, the morning of the meet at the athlete meeting, your nerves are going to be going, your energy is going to be high. What they say in the athlete meeting isn't going to stick, and I'd almost bet you're going to probably miss something during the meeting, which could result in a miss on the platform. So just do a little bit of homework prior to the meet. Number 3, equipment. Another big one. A lot of times you see people show up to the meet. You know, they should check your equipment ahead of time, depending, you know, sometimes you don't even have to do that. It depends on kind of the size of the meet and the federation. But most cases, they're going to have to do an equipment check. You don't want to show up and have, you know, knee sleeves that aren't permitted, you know, for the federation you're competing in, or the wrist wraps, or the belt. Regardless, just do a little bit of homework the week of the meet, or, you know, or prior. You know, this is a little last minute, even the week of the meet. You should know this ahead of time, but these are definitely things to just double check during meet week. Check your equipment that you want to use on the federation's website, rule book, and make sure everything you have is going to be legal for the meet. You know, it might not be the biggest deal to, you know, maybe you have to not use wrist wraps, but if you can't use your belt, now you're talking some serious pounds off your total. You know, I know some people who gain 50 pounds on their deadlift because they have their belt on compared to not. I'd say that's actually pretty common. Same thing with the squat. You're gonna get a good amount of weight having that belt compared to not. So look at the equipment, make sure everything's legal that you have in your bag and that you're gonna use on meet day. They are basic, but they are things that I see overlooked every meet I'm at. So make sure you have your attempts written down ahead of time, or put in your phone, just something to look at during the meet to give you a guide, so that way you're not going up to the judge's table or the scorer's table and scrambling around, putting in the wrong attempt, or, you know, possibly even putting in an attempt. Know the commands. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to miss a PR because you miss a command. It's the worst feeling in the world. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way, but hopefully you guys see this video and put a little extra time into your homework ahead of time and can avoid any of that. And then equipment, same thing. Do the homework, make sure your equipment's legal. That way come meet day, you're good to go. The only thing you gotta do is crush your lifts. So hopefully this helps you guys. Also wanted to just do a little shout out for the REL Power Trainer. So I wrote up an 8-week program. I meant to make a video about this a while ago, but I wrote up an 8-week program. It is gonna be more general. It's, you know, it's to fit the masses. That way anyone can download it, anyone can try it and see results, see benefits, hit PRs, and it is free. You can't beat that, right? I mean, it's like top of the line quality. Run Everything Labs, that's what they do. So I had the easy part. I did the programming of it. They made it look cool. They set it up to make it very user-friendly for you. Detailed descriptions with all sorts of powerlifting lingo and commonly asked questions. Check it out. I'm sure after you do, you'll want to give it a try. And if you do use any Run Everything Labs products, discount code is available. It is WSP20. I'll probably flash it on the screen somewhere in here. And I'm gonna try, I know I say this every damn video. I'm gonna get consistent with the YouTube starting this week. Watch. You don't believe me, do you? Watch.